Welcome back to our journey through the epic story of the Bible. Today we're diving into a passage that showcases the struggle between fear and faith and the incredible depth of God's grace. As we've seen throughout Genesis, family is at the heart of God's plan for humanity. From the first marriage in the Garden of Eden to the promise that Abraham's descendants would bless the nations, God has been weaving his redemptive purposes through human relationships. And at the center of those relationships is marriage, the sacred union between a husband and wife. In Genesis 20, we find Abraham and Sarah in the region of Gerar, where Abraham once again falls prey to fear. Worried that the people of Gerar have no respect for God, he tells a half-truth about his relationship with Sarah, saying, "She is my sister." Genesis 20 and verse 2. It's a shocking moment of deja vu, reminding us of Abraham's similar deception back in Egypt. But this time, God intervenes before any harm can be done. In a dream, he warns Abimelech, king of Gerar, that taking Sarah would be a grave sin because she is a married woman. Abimelech, who had acted in innocence, is understandably shaken. He confronts Abraham, asking, "What have you done to us? How have I wronged you that you have brought such great guilt upon me and my kingdom?" In Genesis 20 and verse 9. Abraham's response reveals the root of his deception: fear. He was afraid that the lack of reverence for God in Gerar would lead to his death because of Sarah. It's a stark reminder that even the giants of faith, like Abraham, wrestle with the same fears and doubts that we face today. But here's the incredible thing. During Abraham's failure, God's grace shines through. Not only does he protect Sarah and preserve the integrity of marriage, but he also shows extraordinary kindness to Abimelech. He appears to him in a dream, revealing the truth and preventing him from sinning. And when Abimelech returns Sarah and restores Abraham's honor, God heals Abimelech and his household, enabling the women to conceive again. It's a stunning display of God's mercy and providence. He is the God who can use even our failures and fears to accomplish his purposes. The God whose grace is greater than all our sins. And that's the hope we cling to, isn't it? No matter how many times we stumble, no matter how often fear gets the best of us, God's grace is sufficient. His love is unfailing, and his purposes will prevail. I think of a time in my own life when fear nearly got the best of me. I was visiting a family of mountain climbers in East Germany, and they invited me to climb to the top of a beautiful peak with them. The only problem, I was terrified of heights. But I didn't want to disappoint them, so I agreed. And it was going fine until we got to the last 50 meters. Suddenly the trail gave way to sheer rock and we had to climb, pulling ourselves over the rocks. Something inside me snapped and I froze, clinging to the rock in total terror. My friends reached the top and marveled at the view, only to realize I was nowhere in sight. They found me paralyzed with fear, unable to move. Finally, they had to pry my fingers from the rock and carry me down the mountain. It was one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. But it taught me an important lesson. Fear is powerful. It can cripple us, paralyze us, and keep us from experiencing the incredible heights and vistas that God has for us. The antidote? Perfect love. 1 John 4:18 says, "There is no fear in love, but perfect love cast out fear. And where do we find that perfect love? At the cross, in the outstretched arms of Jesus, the perfect Son of God, who cried out, "Father, forgive them." When fear threatens to overwhelm you and me, when we're tempted to cling to the false security of our own efforts, we need to look to the cross. Run to the perfect love that casts out all fear, the grace that is greater than all our failures. And remember that the God who redeemed Abraham's failures is the same God who is writing your story. He is the author and perfecter of your faith, the one who will carry you through every trial and triumph to the glorious ending He has planned. So cling to that hope today. Choose faith over fear and rest in the perfect love that will never let you go. And trust that the God of grace will use even your struggles to weave a tapestry of grace that reflects His glory.